This is a photo of the Bears Ears, for which the National Monument is named. And continuing our Southwest road trip, Amy and I spent 4 nights and 3 full days exploring the area, which is one of my favorites in the entire world. From Indian ruins and art to wildflowers, geology, it's just a great place. This map shows some of the places that we went to from a base in Bluff at the bottom right on the San Juan River. Here we are at the trailhead of the House of Fire and Ruin and Mule Canyon, up that way, a mile and a half to the ruin. This is a GPS track of our route to the House of Fire ruin. And here's the House of Fire ruins. They mainly were used as storage granaries, but people may have lived in them too, I suppose. And the view down below is a canyon bottom, and there's the rim on the other side. This is Mule Canyon, and lots of ruins as you go on up canyon. We went maybe a mile and a half or a little less to right here. There's a raven in a nest right up there above the ruins. And here's the House of Fire view. Kind of looks like fire coming out of the houses there. Fire is up there. We waited around about an hour for the light to get just right, and here's a still photograph that looks a bit more like fire emanating from the ruins. Well, here's where the House of Fire is, and we went on 3/4 of a mile up the canyon. Didn't see any ruins really, and the crow or the raven is still up there in the nest and still calling. Somewhere back in the darkness there. And the ruins you can't really see them right at the bottom there. Well, toward 4 o'clock, and after a little less than 4 miles, we're back at the trailhead after seeing the House of Fire ruins. Hello. And there's Amy.
Hello.
Okay. We've been hiking in Mule Canyon, of course, and on the ridge, on the mesa above, are the ruins of the Anasazi people. First, the tower. There was a 2-story tower right here, and then on over, which is covered, was the kiva, which is underground religious ceremony place, I guess. And then up there were 10 to 15 rooms, I think, where the people lived. And over there, down there really, is Mule Canyon, the South Fork. Amy and I are driving 261, which cuts right through the middle of CEDAR Mesa. And at the south side, you have the Dugway, which is a gravel road that switchbacks up this really steep 1,000-foot or so mesa, built for uranium mining way back in the 50s or so. And here we are starting down. Way down there is the road. After you go down the switchbacks. Cedar Mesa's behind me. Mexican Hat's off to the right, Bluff's off to the left. And here's the road, which it's hard to show on a video, but really a steep one. So there's the road. There's the wreck of something that didn't make it. And way down there is the switchbacks, one of several, and Cedar Mesa, running out to a point there above Mexican Hat. Right below us is the Valley of God State Park that we'll go to next. Here's a good picture of the switchbacks.
Yeah, remember I think we have one of these from our last trip.
This is a map of the Pokey Dugway, showing its tortuous route down off the plateau. And here we're in the heart of the Valley of the Gods. Big temples of stone with gods on top, I guess. A long dirt road that winds its way through. And behind all this is Cedar Mesa. All that rock face there is Cedar Mesa. We had to wait about an hour while some guys helped this couple get their camper unstuck and up the hill. Valley of the Gods. They unhooked the trailer and have it blocked with rocks. She's kind of going up. She can't even go without the trailer hardly. Yeah, he's got it made if he keeps coming straight. And here's a photo of a guy in a Jeep pulling the camper up the hill. Okay, it is 10 o'clock. On Tuesday morning. Amy and I are in Butler Wash, below Comb Ridge, and we're going to try to find the big crane pictograph. We think we have some good instructions, but it's not a well-known place and not in any of the guidebooks. But there's a trail from where we're starting. There's a trail there. Kind of climbs up, and best as I can tell, it is somewhere in that to the right, on that mountain there, to the right. But we will find out. There's similar mountains all the way up. That's Comb Ridge there, and all the way down. Here's a GPS track of our route to the big crane pictograph. This is called a pour-off, just down from where we started. And it's not a waterfall because there's no regular rain or regular water. But when it does rain, the water pours off the ledge that I'm standing on down into that green valley below. Butler Wash is the name of the creek in the wash. And a huge old cottonwood. It's been nourished by the water coming off here. Well, we're still heading to the left of that big butte there, off to there. And we're seeing cairns now and then. So somebody went this way. Whether they're going to the same place is the only question. Beautiful day, partly cloudy, partly sunny. Going to be 80 degrees or so. Okay, we think we're getting close. My GPS shows it somewhere up there above Amy. So could be on that face right there. So we're going to go up and try to find the crane, the big crane it is. We decided we needed to climb up this ramp. This is a very nice ramp. And I thought it was on the ledge above this, but as we get up high, right there it is. The big crane. The big crane pecked into the rock. Amazing. Why did somebody do that? Some guy came up here all by himself. No other evidence of art or living around. That's Comb Ridge up there. Goes all the way down into Arizona. Amy taking some pictures of the big crane and looking out over an incredible Four Corners area there. And there's the ramp. We came up across the sandy area there, and then this ramp leads right up to and I didn't see it until I was right up on it, actually. The big crane. Amy says the bird is well done because it has a sense of movement. And why has it got a sense of movement, Amy?
Even the outside feather on the right is more lifted than the one on the left. And then the short feathers are shorter.
And the feet are different. Different lengths, which again shows motion.
All those different alterations, they all work together. I mean, they're all consistent, making it look like it's going up and to the left and flying up to the left.
Away from the sun. Great. Here are a couple of still photographs that you can kind of see the motion Amy was talking about. Some people say these petroglyphs are better seen in black and white, so here's a black and white photograph. Looking back, I think my trekking pole is pointing to where the big crane is, right along that ledge there. We had lunch right in there on the way back down. Here are the trails coming back down to the trailhead. There's our car, and just off to the right is the huge pour-off. And there comes Amy. Okay, we drove on up the Butler Wash Road a ways, and we're going to try to find, and shouldn't have as much problem on this one because I think we can see it, Cold Spring Ruins, which I believe is in that alcove right there. And then there's some other possibilities. There's Eagle Nest Ruin, which is off to the right somewhere, and a ladder petroglyph, but we're going to for sure see Cold Spring Ruins. Getting started around 2 o'clock. This is a GPS track of our route to the Cold Springs Cave Ruins. After following an old road for a ways, which has been closed off, we're descending down into Butler Wash and across it, and then up a gulch that goes to the runs, I think. And at about a mile, with some really tough scrambling at the end, there's Cold Spring Cave, which goes way on around, but that's the beginning of it. Amazing to think that Anasazi lived here. And here is Cold Spring Ruin. I don't see any cold spring, and we see no water so far, but starting up there are lots of ruins, and then gradually coming down. There's a nice structure there. There's one behind the tree there. So quite a place. There's probably the best structure left. This may be where the coal spring came out. There's a hole in the mountain, and looks like drainage for water coming out. We are now in the uppermost reaches of the ruins, and this is the real cave, I guess, and I think this now may be where the water was. There possibly was a pool of water in there. Everything is downhill from here. Scrolling around, that's the very uppermost part there. There's a kiva right there. Bottom of it is really well preserved. Maybe a granary there, and Amy's got some, we're looking at some corn cobs that people have left. And there's where they grind corn. These are actually corn cobs left by the Anasazi on top of the grinding stones. Here are some photographs of some of the beautiful desert wildflowers we saw on Cedar Mesa. We're just about to the trailhead, 3 miles or so, seeing one of the better sets of ruins that I've seen, and a few more nice wildflowers too, particularly the claret cup cactus. Well, here we are overlooking, in the distance there somewhere, McCloud Canyon. There's the Bear's Ears that this entire national monument is named after. On the other side is Dark Canyon Wilderness. And there in the distance is the La Paz Mountains, I think it is. And of course, Cedar Mesa from right to left down below. And we have decided not to go on to Moon House Ruins, because right over there we've gone 6 miles of an 8-mile really bad dirt road. So we've decided to bail out. The road is incredibly bad. It's supposed to be a 2-wheel drive, but you could not do it without a all-wheel or 4-wheel drive. And at the end, the trailhead, there's another mile of what they call 4-wheel drive, which must be incredibly terrible, so you'd have to hike that. So getting there is going to be too much trouble, so we're going to go find some other things to do, which there's lots of up here. Here's a really bad one, coming down or going up. Oh, jeez. High clearance, absolutely necessary. A 2-wheel drive car would not have made that. Moki Dugway, carved at the side of a sheer rock face, pretty much. We're at Gooseneck State Park, which has the San Juan River truly making goosenecks. Coming from Mexican Hat, I think, on the left. And then going on down to the west. That direction below Cedar Mesa, which is the big high peaks or high plateau there. And here's a panoramic photo showing the goosenecks from left to right. Well, we're descending down to Butler Wash to the Wolfman Panel. You come through that crack, and there's a real crux, which we're going over right here, getting down this, and then down into the canyon. There's a guy ahead of us, and the panel is right up there somewhere. So the Wolfman Panel, you come down a cut in the rock to the top left there, down that ramp, wind your way around, and then all of a sudden there are some great petroglyphs because they're carved into the stone. Starting with the Wolfman right there, and then who knows, but there's Felix the cat. Helicopter on the left, a potted plant on the right. And then over there is maybe the best panel, actually. There's a man and there's a crane. And to the right, there's two spacemen. And you can see the holes where idiots, total idiots, have shot bullets into the drawings. Quite a place.
So it looks like the man has like really long earrings like you see in the South American cultures.
So Amy and I really got hot, and I got worried about heat exhaustion, so we climbed up under the shade of the overhang where the ruins are and have drank all the water is melted. Both of those are frozen, and still big chunks of ice in both of them. And I added some hydration salts to one of them. And we ate a goo bar, or goo packet. And we're chipper and ready to go. Right, Amy?
In a few minutes.
Right. Yep. Final look at the panel as we hike out on that area of desert varnish. Right there is where they are. After the Wolfman, we drove down toward the San Juan River to see the Sand Island petroglyph panel, and I particularly like the Copapelli petroglyphs shown here. And some people say you can see them better with the black and white. So here's the black and white view of the same artwork.